Hello, everyone. I hope you guys can hear me. Hi, everyone. God's prepared warrior here. It's good to see all of y'all today. Hopefully, you guys are here. I am on my phone and I really can't see anybody right now. Let's see here. If I do this, nope. Okay, I think we're on. It says I'm on anyway. Either way, all right. So, it's been a week, hasn't it? I did a video yesterday, and I uploaded that video today, and it was about can you survive a tornado, or are you ready for a tornado? Um, my mind was blown away um, hearing the news of how many tornadoes we actually had this year so far up to May, and that it has been at its highest in several years. And so I think it's safe to say that we're probably going to have a continued crazy weather year, right? I mean, we're right now we're in the peak season for tornadoes and severe thunderstorms, and we've seen already flooding happening in towns, especially here in my state of Texas. And so weather has just been a thing. And so I uploaded a video today. It's, are you prepared for a tornado? And in reality, I think that we need to be prepared for any kind of weather event that happens, because you just never know, you know? Um, I am blessed to live in a place where we don't have tornadoes, and I've never experienced that. Well, I'll take that back. When I used to live in Lubbock, um, I would see things like that, but I've never experienced a tornado. So I am blessed. That's one of the things that I will say. I don't want one of those, or I don't want to experience that, right? But we I am always in prayer for all of those that I see that have to go through those times of bad weather and tornadoes and things like that. And as I'm reading the news this week, I'm seeing the numbers. I'm blown away by the sheer magnitude of what some of these storms have been. And my mind then went from there. Then, how do you prepare for something like that? You really have to truly be, watching the weather like a lot. And so I have taken upon myself to, I'm not going to say become a meteorologist, because I didn't go to school for that. But as far as prepping, in my office, I upgraded my monitor for my computer, and now I'm gonna have to show y'all one day. I'm gonna do a how-to video on what I've done, but I'm going to tell you. But what my office has now turned into is kind of like a a news station. So my monitor is big enough to where I can have several windows open, and I can have Doppler radar running in one window. I can have weather information in another window. I can have um, SDR open, which is ham radio over the internet. I have that open, and I'm locked into the NOAA Weather Channel, and I usually sometimes go through there and listen to other people talk. But that's open, and I have become vigilant, right, of the weather, because I'm blessed to live where I live, and if anything, what really takes us out, because we're so dry in Texas, is when it rains a lot, it floods, and then there's so much water on the road. We really, uh, I don't think I can even say this anymore. I was going to say, we really don't have much winter weather, but here recently, Texas has gone through um, uh, severe ice storm, severe snowstorm, to where it knocks everything out. And, we don't know how to live in that, because we've never had to go through that. And, when we had Snowvid, right? Because we call it Snowvid over here. When Snowvid hit, a lot of people, especially where I live, were out of electricity. I had electricity the whole time, and I am also blessed to live near a firehouse, and so the grid is really good there because of communication for them, right? So we're on that same grid, I think. So we never lost power, but a lot of people in my town lost a lot of power. We actually had family staying with us that year, because their power went out, and they didn't live really too far from me, and so it was a neat time, because we we didn't have to go to work. I mean, it was just terrible. It was really terrible. And so, I really truly believe that this year we're going to see a whole lot of different weather related things. I mean, when you look at the numbers, we've had more tornadoes just up to the month of May, um, since previous years. And so, I'm really afraid of what hurricane season is going to look like. And so I tell you all of that because I I started this with my computer, and I've been learning some meteorology, how to follow radar, how to look at that, and I follow some people on YouTube that do that. And so I've taken it upon myself to inform my kids of weather related issues, right? So because I'm vigilant, right? Because that's what I say all the time. Because I'm vigilant, and I've taken that, and I want to make sure that I'm aware, that I am ready, that I am prepped, right? So I've taken that, and every other day, if we're having rain or whatever, I'll send out a mass text to the kids and say, um, "Be careful today. It's going to rain. This is kind of the time it might rain. Be careful on the road, because where I live, people don't know how to drive, and and so take your raincoat. I mean, I am that way, and so I'll send out those texts just so that they can be informed, because I really think that prepping goes beyond the things, right? I've said it before. Prepping, for me is on a whole nother level. It's not just about the things. Yeah, we got to do those things. We gotta make sure that our pantries are full, and we got to make sure that we're prepping all of those items. Um, but I think that prepping also uh, takes takes a part of our life on the things that we don't think about sometimes, right? I think that we should be prepared for inclement weather. We should be aware that inclement weather is coming, right? Because then, if not, then you're not prepared, right? So if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, what was the beginning of May? Um, was National Day of Prayer, and I did a video in my car. If you guys follow me, I did a video in my car, and I'm talking about National Day of Prayer, but I wasn't prepped that day. That day I was not prepped, and so when I came to work, I didn't have to be at the event till noon. And so when I left the house, because it takes me an hour to get to work, when I left the house, um, it wasn't raining, didn't even feel like it was gonna rain, and so um, by noon it was raining, and so I attended the event. It was outside at the in the square downtown, and it was raining, and so thank goodness that there was trees that kind of slowed some of that weather for me. But then it cleared up, but I got wet, right? Because I wasn't prepared. I didn't have a umbrella. I didn't have my frog togs, because I have a pair of frog togs, and I keep them with me from that day every day now. So I think that our preparation needs to go beyond the things, and actually we should be preparing for these kinds of things ahead of time, right? It's like thinking ahead. What is the weather going to look like, right? If you're traveling, right? What is the distance that I'm traveling today? Am I gonna need an extra, maybe a fuel can? Am I gonna need that? Am I gonna need to fill that up, right? What is the distance? If you're, in Texas is huge, and so there are towns and cities, and sometimes the small towns are separated so far apart that um, you might not make it to the next gas station. And so I come from a town that's like that. And so, it's always good to have those things in your vehicle, right? I have plans to do a how to prep your vehicle, right? And what are some things that you need to have your vehicle? I'm gonna be doing that video soon. So be looking out for that video. And so, it's important that we prep our vehicle, right? We should have water inside our vehicle. We should have a seat belt cutting tool, all of those things. Everywhere I go, I keep my bag with me, and it holds my pew pew, and it holds a charger for my phone, and then I have a knife. I have a knife here on my bag, so and a flashlight. So I'm always prepared in some way, but then there's some times that I'm not prepared, and so I learn from those lessons, and how should I be prepared for this thing? And so I'm always thinking, what am I going to do today? And where am I going to go? And what is the weather going to be like? What are some things that I'm going to need to take with me um, on my trip? Because I think that we think of prepping when it comes to food and things like that. We're really good at, this is my go bag, and we have all of that ready. But that's back at the house, unless you carry it with you all the time, you know. Um, and so I think on a whole nother level of how I need to be prepared. And so, preparedness for me goes not beyond the things that we do, right? The the top things, right? And I go even further and prepare for all of those things. So, um I'm going to answer all of you guys after the video, because I can't see the chat here on my phone. So, but I see that you're there. So, thank you guys for hanging with me. So this has just been something that's been on my mind and on my heart this week. Those who are going through, the tornadoes that have happened already. Man, I've been praying for families. I've been thinking of, trying to think of some things. The video I posted today, one of the things that we should prep when it comes to severe weather, that maybe we don't think about, is what is your insurance going to cover for whatever happens because of this inclement weather, right? So all this week, we've heard, we didn't get to see it. North Texas did, but not where I live. I live in the central part of Texas. But there were they received baseball size hail. I can't even imagine that. When I've seen hail, it's like, dime size, nothing really, just dents in your in your hood. But I can't even imagine baseball size hail. So I looked up a video for baseball size hail because I wanted to see what that looks like. And baseball size hail will put a hole in your windshield, in your windows in your car, and in your windows in your home, and it'll really tear some stuff up. So I've been praying for these folks who have been going through that. And so, I've been thinking, what are some preps that we don't think of that we need to think of, right? Insurance was one that came up. Another one was, what are your local resources in your area, right? Because if something, if for example, if it rains and floods here really, really bad, what are the local resources that I can utilize here in the event that I need help, right? And so it's always good to look at those local resources, write down those numbers, write down those websites, and figure out what they are and how you could benefit from that in the event inclement weather happens. And a lot of people don't think about that. And I thought, man, it's good to utilize those local resources. So I would keep a list, because one of the items that I talked about was writing a list of phone numbers. As far as communication, writing down phone numbers, because what if your cell phone gets wet? What if the tornado actually knocks out a cell tower and there's no communication, right? What plan do you have for communication in that event, right? And so, like I said, I'm always thinking on a whole nother level of trying to figure out, well, what if, right? And so that way we're prepared, not just in the physical things that we do, as far as gathering things, but we're also thinking on a different level of how can we be prepared during times like this. So, you know like I said, where I live, we get rain, lots of rain. It floods a little bit, not like a lot, but it'll you can't take this exit because the exit is full of water. And so there's uh low lying areas where it floods, and then you can't cross there because it's too deep. And so those are the things we see here where I live. And so, yeah, it's urban jungle, concrete. So yeah, but yeah, so it's important for us to think on that level of what can we do when these things happen. So I am very curious, guys, of what this whole year is going to look like weather-wise, and I think that we need to be prepared for that those times. And so I want to encourage you to really think about, what are the things that I need to have in my car when it comes to prepping for weather. How do I need to prepare my home for inclement weather? And what are some of the things that I need, right? You need insurance, right? What does that coverage really cover, right? um, Make sure you know that. Make sure the event doesn't happen and you go to claim an insurance, and then all of a sudden they say, well, you didn't have flood insurance, or you didn't have this type of insurance. Make sure that you are prepared in that aspect. Dig deep, right? We're paying for insurance, right? So we should know what we're paying for, what will cover us, and that is being prepared. So be prepared in that way. Think about, what are some things that we don't think about, that we need to think about when it comes to preparedness and inclement weather. So, guys, I'm gonna cut this short because, like I said, I'm in the car. Um, I'm in the vehicle here, and we're actually at a restaurant, and the kids wanted to celebrate Mother's Day with mom, and they're like, we want to take y'all out to eat, and I'm like, man, but I gotta go live. So I just wanted to come live. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging, and just kind of share with you about that and how we can prep, and be ready because I'm gonna have some new videos coming out this week about this subject. You know, a little deeper and things like that. So be looking out for that. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, and guys, I would love for all of you to comment in the chat, talk about this stuff, because I really want to inform people about prepping. You know, we're not weirdos. We're just ready, right? So yeah, so just wanted to let you guys know that I'm praying for you, and I hope you are having a wonderful Saturday. God bless you, and remember, stay vigilant. That's important. We got to know what's happening around us. Stay prepared, and remember, faith is always our shield. God is always there for us. He never will leave us. He'll never forsake us, and it is that faith that is going to carry us on as we prepare. Right? We should never freak out because God is in control, and He is going to take care of us. So, guys, y'all have a good Saturday, and I'm praying for all of you, and can't wait to see you this week through my videos and posts. And don't forget, when you go to my videos, you'll see God's Prepared Warrior links. Make sure you go to all of those links. And if you want the Warrior newsletter, the Warrior devotional, and the Warrior blog in your inbox, in your email, make sure you go to my blog site. The link is there in the description of my videos, and go to the contact page, fill out the information, say, Fernando, I want the newsletter. That tells me you want all of that, and when I publish it, you will get it first, and it'll go on social media on Friday. So you'll actually get to have all of that first before everybody else does. So go to that, check out those links. Go to my Facebook, go to my Instagram, and I can't wait to see all of you there. I'm glad y'all are here. God bless you, and I will see you next time.